Can you turn him up or hold it closer to the mic?
Can I turn him up? Yeah, hold on. We're gonna turn you up. I can hear him pretty good. Can you? You can't? Okay. How's that?
That
So
good?
yeah,
There
that's
we go.
good. So we were gonna ask you a lot about the Yamaha. Actually, we're gonna bring you in on a Zoom call, but Matt is. I paid Matt today. I gave him a check, and
It's slacking.
yeah, all of a sudden the performance goes down, and you'll never believe who I just hung up on a minute ago.
Who's that?
Some guy named Ron Lawson.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's the guy that tried to hire you away from us.
Oh, that guy.
But now evidently he wants to work for us. So you've got to get him the offer to buy dirt bike tests by tomorrow morning. He says there's a 10 a.m. deadline on when he's gonna start looking for other opportunities.
I'll have it by 9:59.
Okay. So we were just getting ready to open a box. Actually, I saw Logan here just woke up. He literally just like woke up. And he's like, "Oh, I get to open presents." So we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about Yamahas that we rode yesterday
Okay.
because they're almost exactly the same as the ones from the year before, right?
Yes, they felt very, very similar.
Very similar.
If I remember right.
Yeah, I think that the motors were absolutely 100% identical. So if you're thinking about those bikes, if they were 2022s, then that would answer the question. We never answered that guy's question if it was better than the Honda.
No.
No, we started talking about how Ron should have wrote the whole test after he loaded up in the back of his truck,
Yeah.
like any good journalist would. So what else was I supposed to talk to you about, Trevor? What were you calling me for? Do you want to get paid too?
Sure.
Um,
I like free money.
free money.
If I don't do anything for it, then I'm
You,
in.
yeah,
I'm a millennial. That's what we do.
you don't. Aren't you supposed to start a brand or something like that? Is that how you do it?
That's too much work.
Or market or something? Or you went to? Aren't you going to school for what? Business or marketing?
I was, but that's over with. Now I gotta grow up a little bit. Do something.
Well, if you just sell dirt bike tests, then we'll be fat cats. Because I mean, usually the companies like this sell for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I'll still do this. I'll do this show for like a year. I mean, my demands will be pretty high on the price, like what it costs. But if we make that money, I'll stay on for like a year as an advisor, consulting.
Make something work.
Yeah.
Make something work with that.
Okay, so how come you didn't win your bike race?
That's a good question.
Right.
I,
Well,
just, I had a really good weekend, so I just didn't want to. I wanted to spread the love a little bit, let someone else have the spotlight.
okay. So you're talking about your good weekend was your Vegas to Reno ride.
Yes.
All I saw was the side of the bike, the profile, the side of the bike from the GoPro, and you're not. That's not a good weekend.
No.
No.
That's not.
No,
That's
you're
not.
not.
That's practicing my balance.
No.
Making sure I found the balance point.
No. So, but do you think that maybe because you rode a motorcycle yesterday, it compromised your performance on the bicycle today?
That definitely did not help.
It didn't help.
And SRA on Sunday didn't help either.
Oh, there's a video of him getting taken out at SRA too. You seen this? Yeah.
Lost balance again.
Yeah. You didn't put that on Dirt Bike Test, did you?
Not yet.
You didn't promote that one.
No.
Yeah. Right. Well. Okay. I think we've used you up there because Logan's like he's really getting excited. He wants to put he's willing to put on a hat that looks like a taco so he can open up a box right now.
There you go.
Yeah. Is that why you came here to watch him put his hat on?
I think she wants to wear the hat.
Oh, his Logan brought evidently his ex-girlfriend here. Yeah, we're not really sure what's going on. This is it's put me in an uncomfortable position.
I'm uncomfortable now.
Okay, well we'll talk about dirt bikes later because that's what this show is about. So
All right.
glad you got second place, and we're not going to break any Yamaha news tonight that I know of.
Next time.
Well, no, we got a whole. That's a whole
Next
thing.
week.
We can't even talk about it next week. So
I think we can break that one.
you want to try to break it? Then we don't get invited anymore. Then we don't have to go do those things. But I want to ride the YZ125.
Right. I do too. So maybe let's not break it this time.
Okay. Right on, Trevor. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
You're like a cat that's ready to pounce on a mouse. You really want to see what's in the bag, don't you? Or what do you want to see?
Well, I can see what's in both of them, but
Well, what's in the bag? I don't even know what's in the bag
if I had to guess, a ECU or a computer.
because it came from Takamoto.
Yeah.
Okay, get it, grab it, put on your hat.
Oh.
Have to put on the hat to open this stuff up. See, everybody told me I got a little bit too animated last week. Everybody told me I got a little too animated. This is where the viewership. You can go ahead and shoot a picture of him like right now, and then put it on the Instagrams or whatever.
It will be on
Tell-
YouTube and everything. So
Tell everybody what we're doing.
there's only 47 people watching. So
They're
they're fresh for Logan.
Come on, up here on the table. Don't open it under the table.
Oh, I was trying to keep the
Sound
volume
down.
Yeah.
Okay, well I can turn the volume down for a second while you.
No,
open.
don't turn the
Nope,
volume
it's
down.
open.
Don't touch it.
Yeah,
Don't touch
cool.
it.
I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Oh, there was one.
Stickers. Those are candies. He throws candies in there.
Was not expecting that.
You were not expecting that.
No.
So what do we just open up, Logan? Because remember, this is generally a podcast, and people listen to it. They don't really watch you. Although you do look really ridiculous wearing that taco hat, thanks to Ricky Braybeck and Sarah Price.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually got they probably wouldn't be able to stand watching this for this long to actually see this, but it is good. Hey, when that light was green up there? Was that a problem?
I don't know.
So that was just going to Zoom, and then when I turned on to OBS, it switched over to OBS. That was not what happened. What happened was the network dipped on our end, and then we lost everything for like 10 seconds.
Oh, 10 seconds is nothing.
Yeah. Well, I just kept recording. I didn't want to ruin the audio.
You could miss a half an hour of this show, and it would you would hardly notice it.
Yeah.
What do we got, Logan?
Quite possibly ultra slim oil insert caps thingamajigs.
Okay, so what do they do? No instructions?
Ultra slim oil filter cap.
Are there instructions on how to use them? What are they? Oil Takamoto Ultra Slim Oil Filter Cap. We have a black one, an orange one, a red one, and a blue one. And you can open it. That's what the whole thing is. It's all opening shit. I want those things out on the table, like in full display of everybody. You can hear Logan playing with those things. Oh.
They're nice.
Okay. Curious. So, I think this is because on some of the KTMs, so this is the oil filler cap that goes on the clutch cover, and on some of the KTMs, I'm aware of some of the different headers and some of the pipe guards and stuff kind of get down and they start touching and melting the stock plastic ones. He has TMC engraved in the top. And this is so it's knurled on the side, so hopefully you can open and close it with your hand, which I think you should be able to. And then if you had to, you could always put a little channel lock on top of it and stuff. I would like to see like a Phillips head, or not a Phillips head, but a big flat bladed groove on the top as well. But then you shouldn't be tightening them up that much. But yeah, I wonder if so. This is a red one.
Yeah.
Would that go on because they're KTM's?
Uh,
Or is that thread on the oil fill caps the same on all different bikes?
No, but
Yeah, could be.
it does.
Yeah,
Cross over.
I mean, they seem well. The Honda ones that had those little tiny ones, those always piss me off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good. We have that, Logan. We open up a package. So now our YouTube views are just going through the roof. We'll just leave them up on the table there next to the Tacosaurus. We'll see if they actually make it out to the garage and end up like that. That orange one looked really good on your new bike.
yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
it's mine. You're not getting it. Did you see your name on that address label? You got to go out and work on people to send us more stuff so you can open it up. And if it comes with your name on it, then you get to take it.
Okay.
How's that work? That's good. Okay.
Isn't there another box?
Yeah.
Okay, we can open another box.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, actually, this one came this is because Trevor got it for me.
yeah.
Oh, that one is mine.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, sure.
You got to keep opening. So this is a box. It's a big square box. It's about the size of a motorcycle helmet because that's what's in it. It's a motorcycle helmet. And the way that I know this is because I had to open the box at the track the other day before we went riding the new Yamahas that we can't talk about. So it's a Fly Formula. It's I know which one it is because I read it on the box here. It's the original white, and I've already graphicked it up with my stickers and stuff. And I have to. It's going to lead us into talking about helmets, which I wanted to do. That's the reason I put it in there. This is the first time I've worn the Fly Formula helmet, and a lot of people ask me questions all the time about helmets, and because I know a little bit, probably more than most. I'm probably the biggest, most outspoken person when it comes to helmets, where I say it doesn't matter what you paid for your helmet. Just be ready to buy another one if you use it. So I haven't used this helmet, and by used it, I mean I haven't crashed in it, so I can't tell you like how it works, nor would the way that it worked for me be the way that it worked for you, because every time you crash, it's a little bit different. You tell me how you're going to crash, I can probably recommend a helmet that would absorb that impact better than a different helmet and whatever. So this is pretty cool because the good thing about this helmet is, and the good thing about like kind of some of the stuff that actually Fly's doing from what I've heard from some of their stuff is they're bringing the technologies that are inside of this helmet to some of their lower price helmets, because this is an expensive helmet. This is in the $600 range helmet, I think. Because this one, I don't.
700.
Yeah, 640 or 650 or something. And because I don't know if this is the carbon one. It doesn't appear to be the carbon one, because I saw the invoice that was in one of the boxes, but it was a white red one, and I think that's the one that Trevor got. I should have asked him on the line. But this one is F7. So that's the high one. But inside of it, there's two things. There are these blue, they're absorption dampening. What do they call this stuff? Rheon, R-H-E-O, Rheon. Rheon. And they're these in some of the impact zones here. Here on the side, they've got, how many of them are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 6, maybe more, because I have the liner inside there. It's a special material. It's very energy absorbing, and it also has some rotational characteristics to it that so if your head starts, it allows your head to spin, so it doesn't. It's like similar to the way that the MIPS works. It stops the rotational impacts, which they're actually finding out more and more are causing a lot of the damage and stuff. And then they have what they call the cone head, which is multi layers of EPS foam, and they're shaped in cones so that they can literally have softer foam inside of the helmet, and then also have stiffer foam. So it's basically a matrix of two different types of foam. And what that does is it allows the helmet to be the foam to be as soft as it can be, which is important in lower speed impacts, but it allows it to be stiff when you need a stiffer impact. And so pretty good helmet. I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter than it was when I wore it. Fit was on the tight side, which is good. It felt like more of an oval or it didn't feel like a round helmet. It actually was tight. It fit me good. The padding inside it was really good. Everything about this just seems like it was a really good, high quality helmet. Vending was up there. I mean, you look at the front of this thing, and it was hot yesterday too.
Oh yeah. Not nearly as hot as it was the day before. The clouds kind of helped, but it was still hot.
Yeah, and it was funny because I found myself like usually I want to take my helmet off when I stop and come in for a few minutes, and I was stopping and coming in for a few minutes. We were changing some stuff on the suspension, just clicking around, and I noticed I didn't take my helmet off. I didn't have the desire to quickly want to take my helmet off, which was kind of surprising because of how humid it was. So overall, pretty decent helmet. My wife has been wearing one of these for a better part of a year now. She's had one of these, so I guess if I put her in it, then I trust it, right? And what you need to know is like literally like what standards does it pass and all this stuff. So really nice helmet. So I got to try it even though it was in the box already.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I don't want to give you one of these because you'll probably test it.
Yeah, probably.
That's an extra visor.
Yeah, we don't want to test helmets here.
Comes with an extra visor. That's good because sometimes the visors break off. Visor is still actually screwed onto the helmet. It's not one of the magnetic ones and stuff. So pretty cool. So
YouTube chat comments questions now.
yeah.
There was actually a few.
Hey, while you're doing that, a guy named Loveless Isimo, he saw the Christini video and he said, "What is this witchcraft?" So all-wheel drive motorcycles are now witchcraft.
Yeah. It's a good thing we're not in Salem.
And what does this guy say? What's his name?
Oh, Zahaba Zofuka.
Zohaben,
Zohaben.
Ficker.
Yeah.
Zulifkar. Yeah, that's exactly how you say it. You want to try that one more time? Say it. Use it in a sentence.
Zahaban. Oh, yeah, I got one. Zahaban Zofeka said, "What? How? We do, huh?"
That's really what he said.
Period.
This is not only can you not pronounce his name, he says wah, whoo, ha, we do ha. So this is the internet's for you. These are the questions that we get on the show. Matt, can you translate?
Give me 1 second.
No, don't worry about it. I don't want you to drop the whole show out because we can't pronounce it.
No, I might need another shot of tequila.
Yeah, for that one for sure. Me too.
It's been rough over here.
Okay, what does Vidmoto want to know?
Best
Look at this freaking kid won't read off of a paper. He's resisting reading off of paper. He
Well-
wants to read off of his phone.
Well, I always mess it up, and I want you to be able to read it, so you
I can
just
correct you?
hop in and yeah. So I always mess up
Don't.
something.
I'm not your crutch, bro. You handle it. I won't shove paper down your throat anymore. You just read it, okay?
Vidmoto, best break-in process for the new Beta 390RR. I'm sure you have. Oh, the 390RR. I'm sure you have discussed this on previous shows. Point me in the right direction of episode if you can. If not, what's the Jimmy Lewis approach to a new bike/motor?
If we had, remember that project I was going to put you on where you go back and you catalog what we talked about in each show and you put it in a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
How's that coming?
Not good.
Not good. That's a F.
Well,
grade.
that was I didn't really know that was set in stone. I thought it was more of a toss-up idea.
Yeah, do you ever notice when we're around here and we talk about like people that are self-starters and just grab the bull by the horns and run with the project and get it done, all that stuff. That was talked about in that context, hoping that someone would just initiative and like if you ever see a weed growing around this property, like around here, and you want to do something, you can go kill it. Yeah, and that doesn't take a whole lot of like almost anybody can do that. But like this project, this would take a little bit of time, and I think you could do it by next week. I mean, you don't have any homework or anything, do you?
No, I wish I didn't.
Is it math homework?
No.
Oh,
So, okay, so let's get to. So his question is, no. So blame Logan for not getting the spreadsheet done yet. So I can't point you to that episode, but I can tell you the way to break in a new motor because this is good. This is good advice. So you've been sifting through all this bull crap on this show, and you're finally he's going to tell me something that I can use. So when you get your new bike, what should you do with it? Basically, like the kind of thing is, don't lug it a lot. Don't rev the piss out of it. I like to run them through a few heat cycles. So my thing is, if it's brand new, just out of the crate, and I put it in, I'll like start it up and let it warm up, and let it idle and maybe give it a couple little revs, but not big revs. Let it warm up a little bit and then shut it down and let it cool down. I'll do that 1 or 2 or 3 times maybe. If it's my bike and I want to ride it for 1,000 hours, and I've spent my good hard-earned money, this is what I'll do. So I'll warm it up 3 or 4 times. Maybe once when I get it, maybe when I'm putting my gear on, getting ready or whatever, and then I just go out and ride it, and I'll ride a tank of gas off of it where I'm trying, I'm not super lugging it, I'm not super revving it out. Yeah, I'll rev it and I'll run it, medium, but not super hard, and then usually I come back in after that, change the oil in the motor, look at the motor oil, see if it's good, and then the next time I ride it like I stole it. At that point, it's game on. I feel like if it's run for, a tank of gas is a couple hours, then anything that's funky, if something was wrong, it probably would have started to go wrong, and there would have been some indication in the oil. And for me, the motors tend to take about, if I'm racing it, I would put an hour on it before I would actually go and race it. But really, motors take like 4 or 5 hours. When they're brand new, they take 4 or 5 hours to start running their best, most of them. And it's just where things like the shifting loosens up and stuff like that. And your suspension's going to take a good few hours to, get broken in. And then I send that in and get it serviced. And that's what I do. So if you have a Beta, you're probably going to have to add oil to the front forks. Just saying. My experience in the last every Beta, it seems like I've had to do. So RJ, hopefully that helps you out. And all good.
Now, question: why no super revs, but why no super lug?
Because that's just as hard on the motor in kind of like when you're really lugging it, there's no momentum or inertia in the in the crank and stuff like that. So it's actually like really, how it's, when you have a little bit of momentum, when you're on your bicycle or something like that, it's just a little bit easier. But when you're really cranking, it's like Matt can probably, it's like moment of loads. Is there something like that
moment
in physics?
of inertia.
Moment of inertia, yeah.
Yeah.
But like so it gets spread. It gets spread out. Was that word?
No, MOI.
MOI, moment of inertia. Yeah. So it gets spread out over time. So it's not hard on just like individual. A little bit of momentum.
Okay.
Yeah. So and the lugging is. It's very rare that people do that anyways. Most of the time they just slip the clutch all the time. You don't want to do that either. Okay. What's next?
Chuck Diego. I just took out my 2021 Beta 200 today for the first time. I did not lug it, and I did not wring its neck. I burned a half of a tank of fuel, put it back in the truck. It will be fine. I had a 2018 Beta 390 before this one. You will love that bike. Enjoy.
Well, Chuck Diego should do the show. I could just sit over there and Chuck should come in here because he just answered the question exactly like I did.
No, you should come sit in the producer seat.
No, I can't do that. I'm trying to read off of a paper. It's like you and Logan handle that.
Oh yeah.
Mike Patrick. Mike was right there at the beginning of the show. Mikey P. I have a question. What happened to the Honda 400 with radical active combustion? It seems to have just disappeared off the face of the earth. Well, of course it did, because Honda doesn't like two-strokes, even if they invent something called radical active combustion, which was just saying it was a little bit more cleaner burning. It was a very clean burning two-stroke, and I think it was I don't know this, but I think it was kind of like a precursor to kind of fuel injection and a precursor to possibly direct injection. Although that was a carbureted bike as far as I knew. And I rode that thing, the EXP. It was called the EXP 400, and it was a Dakar Rally bike, and they actually raced it in the Nevada Rally as well. But what it did is it actually held the power valve down lower so that it had longer to burn. But once they turned it into a race version, that kind of just went out the window. But they made CRMs in Japan that had this technology, and it was a cleaner burning two-stroke. But Honda pretty much wrote two-strokes off at some point. They just said we are not going to produce these anymore, and they don't because two-stroke is a bad word in some. Anytime you're talking about anybody that talks about emissions and emissions compliancy and all this stuff, two-stroke is a bad word. That's why there's a motor called an orbital that they put in powerboats. That's a two-stroke that is very emissions compliant and very clean running, but they do not call it a two-stroke. They call it an orbital. Chuck Dollison. Chuck was the guy who was working in the service department at the first Kawasaki dealership, Kawasaki Central, that I rode for back in Oxnard, California, when I started racing motocross. He would help me out when I was your age and I had stupid questions, like what spark plug do I put in my KX80? He would tell me. Chuck asks, on my 2020 Husky TE150i, it has quite a bit of black ooze coming out of the exhaust. It runs great. What can I do about this? Or am I just riding it like an old man? TE150i, that's fuel injected. I don't have any experience with those. I'm wondering if I ridden the fuel injected 150. I don't believe I have. That is 100% directly related to the oil injection system, and I will tell you that and I have a lot of experience with the KTM 300, and they don't leak spooge stuff out the muffler very much, do they? Hardly at all.
None.
Yeah, none. Yeah, you guys have experience with them. I know.
I had my packing out at 100 hours.
And it was still dry.
The packing, I was putting a spark arrestor on there for
Yeah.
the race, and it felt, it's the same weight as when it was brand new.
Yeah, they're really they're pretty clean running. But I noticed that between the Beta 300 and the 200, so you're going to a smaller displacement, the 200 had a little bit more oil spooge coming out of the back of the muffler, and I don't know if they've just kind of adjusted the oil injection on it to run a little bit, a little bit hot. And you think about it, like, I don't know exactly how quickly that thing is, pumping little pulses of oil in it, but you think about how much you're up at the high RPM where it's got to put a lot in, and then you quickly drop down to low RPM, and then it goes back up. So it's probably, they're probably compensating it. It's a little bit more on the richer side. So I could see where a bike that's, running quite a bit, it's not just constantly in the mid RPMs where it would be, a little bit leaner on the oil side. It's a little bit higher up. So I could see where that could be just, that's the way it is, but it runs great. What can I do about it? I'm wondering, maybe you could try a different oil. Try switching to an oil that maybe might not be, maybe you run the recommended brand and it does it. Maybe try just a different brand that's of the same stuff. That might work. I don't know. Let's see. Mike Patrick says, haha, you sound like you're talking about the Shelby Cobra AC when you talk about your Husaberg 570. They used to say that the Cobra didn't accelerate from a standstill when you gassed it, that it just pulled the earth told it and stand still. Well, great products do the same thing to the earth. So that's just the way it is. It looks like the MME is a clutch lever. Oh, Mountain Motorsports Engineering. I know this. Midwest Mountain Engineering. Yes. It alters the leverage ratio on the clutch. I absolutely hate those things. And don't judge. I didn't say it was good or bad. I don't like them because they make the clutch so easy to pull in, but the engagement point changes quite a bit, like how the clutch feel and also the shape of their lever. I have little tiny hands, as you can see, and they have a kind of a bigger more square blade, and it's just not made for me. But so, do we need to pull that bike off the board and put it lower now?
No, I was just.
You're just
looking
checking to
into
see where it was. Let's see.
Yeah, this is a comment actually about the point you just made.
Yeah, it makes yep. That they for some people love those things. They if you feel like your clutch pull is too hard, that's a good way to change it. I think they change it I think they go way overboard on it for me personally, but some people really like them. I'm a more fan of a quicker pull and engagement. So let's see. Yeah, we had that. RE is the race edition on the betas, correct? And all the other comments are for my producer Matt here, who has who
from
wrecked
the
who
producer, Matt.
wrecked the stream. Yeah, he wrecked the stream. He broke the internet tonight.
Yeah,
And
it's all my fault.
don't worry, you guys will go fix it in post. It'll be like it never happened.
Oh no, post there won't be a single problem.
Jordan
It's a live
Burns.
stream.
Jordan Burns said this show is 100% NMF, and he's 100% correct. It's NMF.
Actually, no, NMF is.
You're not going to either. Super
Okay.
top secret.
Got it.
Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, there's this.
Solar SS. He
Yeah.
says, I can't even see the classic two strokes making that much of an impact on the environment. Take one diesel semi truck and it probably does more than all of the two stroke combined exhaust pollution. Not necessarily, but I will tell you that all of the equipment running underneath the 747 that's sitting idling at LAX right now, all of that equipment that's on the ground is regulated to the T's, and that 747, when it takes off, it negates any two-stroke emissions that are produced all year long, period. So it's good that they're regulating two strokes for emissions. And this started a long time ago, and it's nothing more than just it's just another thing that some bureaucrat can point their finger at and say, look, we cleaned this up. So just, hey, it started in California, and you guys made the best gas cans ever. Don't you love those ones that don't spill that you get from California? Because they really work. I've never, ever got one of those things to work without spilling twice as much. So there we go. Just like two strokes. Yeah, thanks, Solar. And what, a solar guy you'd think he'd be pretty environmentally conscious, I think.
Yeah. Surprised there's no Yamaha questions.
Yeah, they probably read our 2019 test. They did change the suspension. They did do some stuff. There's
Yeah,
some changes
yeah.
in that wheel. They changed it, and I'll tell you what. From my history, not specifically talking about that bike because I'm not allowed to, but in my history with Yamaha changing things, they're kind of on the leading edge sometimes to change. They'll do things that are different. They have over the past, just different types of suspension systems and all different kinds of things. But they don't take it lightly, and they really, really do test it. So when they make a change on a bike, something like changing the spoke pattern on the wheel or changing the wheel spacers on the front fork, making an alteration to how thick or wide the wheel spacers are, they do it because it works. And you're probably not going to notice it if you just hop, from what you're on a KX450 and you buy a Yamaha and you ride it, and it's not something you're going to notice there. But if you have the bikes back to back, if you have last year's bike and this year's bike and you ride them back to back, a high level guy will feel it. A guy that tests stuff, and if you have three of those guys, at least two of them would have decided that the change that they made had a better feeling. So that's the way that they typically do things, and some manufacturers just kind of jump on the change because it's a change, and Yamaha seems like they really do test this stuff. And when they make a change like that, even no matter how small, there's some sort of a benefit. The only time I don't really know about that is when they went to the white air box, and then the marketing guy told me it was because the air was going to be cooler that was coming inside the air box. And
Kind of like how Bold New Graphics.
yeah, and then they went back.
Changed the handling. And
Yeah, they went back to black after a couple years, and I said, "Well, what about that hot air now that you're sending into the air box?" And the question was not answered very well. So,
yeah.
what else we got to do, Logan? Did you want to eat one of those candies? I'm sitting over here just like drinking away, having my tequila and my beer. You're just having a look at that candy. You want it? There's 2 of them there. You could share one with your ex-girlfriend. Maybe you could win her back. That's what I would do with girls her age. I say, "Hey, you want a candy?" I shouldn't do that.
No.
Highly would not recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got the candy right there. I mean, it's like. Oh wait, I should be saying, "Hey, you want some?" No. Okay. On that note, I think we got to sign this one off, don't we, Matt?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. We're getting close to that time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's long enough. Logan's got homework. He wants to take Taco Hut home. I'm not letting him. Until you get that, and you're going to wear that every show until we get that list of what was on the past shows done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the agreement. And that check over there, it's dangling. That something has to get finished for that too. You got to get those other things up there. So, okay, with that, guys, we will. What do we do?
See you out on the trail.
See you on the trail.
Cheers.
Cheers.